We are continuing to follow the massive FBI and ICE raid at a horse racing track in Wilder over the weekend. It ended with 5 people arrested, accused of illegal gambling, and more than 100 undocumented people detained by ICE.
Yeah, we talked to local immigration attorneys, one of whom was on the ground as law enforcement descended on La Catedral Arena. Brian, Nikki Ramirez-Smith says many individuals were frantically calling and messaging her as hundreds of people at the arena were detained. Tonight, attorneys say the majority of the detainees have been moved, spread out across the state and the country to places like Nevada, Wyoming, Utah, and California. Ramirez-Smith and her colleague Neil Doherty say a couple people with work permits or other statuses and serious medical issues have been released. Idaho Governor Brad Little said in a statement this week, quote, "Illegal gambling operations involving animals often accompany drug trafficking, animal abuse, illegal weapons trafficking, and large sums of money that end up in the hands of cartel bosses." But the attorneys say the majority of people they've spoken with weren't even questioned about any criminal activity at the arena, just their status in this country. As we've previously reported, they also say the majority of detainees do not have criminal records. Today, the FBI sent a statement clarifying young children were not zip-tied or hit with rubber bullets during the FBI-led operation. But Ramirez-Smith and other witnesses say that's not true. They report law enforcement in military uniforms put what appeared to be zip ties on hundreds of people, children and U.S. citizens included. Law enforcement sources tell us those were likely plastic flex cuffs.
This is not a way to do enforcement, to crack down on a family event and arrest a bunch of people without investigating them ahead of time, without any grounds to suspect that they actually were undocumented. So for them to just go and question and interrogate every single person at this event, with guns drawn and, putting people in cuffs, that seems unconstitutional.
I think this could have been handled a lot better. That if they were going to detain people for criminal activity, the indictment said exactly who those people were. They could have detained those people and minimized the damage to everyone else. There's just a number of things they could have done. And if they were really investigating criminal activity, why did everyone need to be questioned about their citizenship? That was irrelevant to the crime that they alleged that they were investigating. So if they were really there just to investigate a specific crime, why didn't they investigate that crime? Why did they investigate the immigration status of every single person there?
Caldwell Police Chief Rex Ingram tells me when executing a search warrant, it is standard to detain everyone at the scene until they figure out what's going on. Earlier this year, the Department of Homeland Security authorized federal law enforcement to help with President Trump's immigration policies, giving them authority to perform immigration officer functions. Ingram says that's why ICE agents were called in to process people alongside nearly 200 local, state, and federal officers.